small businesses. Okay, why is planning so important to small businesses? Planning should be the first in performing a series of managerial functions because it sets the future course of action for all aspects of business. Okay, planning should be the first in performing a series of managerial functions. Yani meaning to say, it is basically a foundation. Okay, and it's something in your mind before conducting any activity. Okay, so planning should be the first in performing a series of managerial functions. Basically, you are a manager of yourself. Okay, you are the one who decide. Okay, which what to do, what not to do, what to do, what not to do, meaning that there are priorities. So basically, planning should be the first in performing a series of managerial functions because planning sets the future course of action for all aspects of businesses. So basically, planning sets the future course of action. What to do, what not to do for all aspects of the businesses. What to do, what not to do, how to do, where to do. Okay, so basically, planning sets the future course of actions for all aspects of business. Uh, Planning is the foundation you build on. Basically, we discussed this earlier. Basically, planning is a foundation, okay, for every building. Okay, planning is the foundation. Okay, how planning relates to other managerial functions. Okay, other managerial functions. For example, planning is a managerial function. Okay, meaning that it's a function of the manager. Uh, Planning, number two, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling. In some we have planning, organizing, leading and controlling. Staffing is not there. Okay. However, as we discussed this earlier, social sciences. So planning, organizing, staffing, leading and controlling. These are the functions of the managers. We call it managerial functions. So how planning relates to other managerial functions? Okay, any planning with organizing, with staffing, with leading, and with controlling. So basically, they are working, or they works like in a cycle. Okay, it's basically a cycle. How planning relates to other managerial functions? Well-developed plans can guide the owner and managers in operating the business. Okay, any well-developed, and for example, if you have a good plan, we call it well-developed plan. So well-developed plans can do what? Can guide the owners and managers in operating the business. Basically, they are providing a guide. It's basically a guide. And if something is in your mind, if this happen, what is the substitute? If this happen, what's the alternative? Meaning, basically, it's a guide. So planning guide the owner and managers in operating the business. Okay. This also gives direction to and motivate employees. So if you have a plan, okay, meaning this plan gives you a direction, and plus this plan motivate the employees because they are not in black. They know what to do. If as employee, if you do not know what to do, okay, you might get rid of. Okay, for example, if you are in a trouble and you don't know, okay, how to get rid of it from it. Okay, whereas another case, if you are in a trouble and you know, okay, what to do or what's the next step, you will enjoy. So basically, a plan gives a direction. Plus, it is a source to motivate the employees. If you are stuck in this, okay, how to get rid of it? Okay, okay. Point number three: provide an environment to attract customers and prospective employees. Basically, plan. Basically, plan, provide an environment to attract customers and prospective employees as well. This basically provide an environment. Okay, plan, provide the environment, okay, to attract the customers and prospective employees. How to attract the customers? Use new methodologies, okay, use innovative technologies to attract the customers. So if you have a plan, meaning that you will attract customers plus the prospective employees, any new employees. Why small business owners neglect planning? Why small businesses owners are neglecting planning? Okay, yani, why they are not utilizing the planning? Or why they are thinking that planning is not important for them? What is in their mind? Okay. Number one, day-to-day activities leave them little or no time for planning. Yani every day they are tired, so they cannot plan for the future. So day-to-day activities leave them little or no time for planning, because planning needs a time. Okay. Number two, they lack knowledge of how to plan. They don't know how to do or how to conduct a plan, how to make the plan. They don't know. Any they lack of knowledge, insufficient information, insufficient knowledge. They feel that future changes cannot be planned for. Okay, sometimes illiteracy. Okay, due to their illiteracy. Okay, they don't feel the importance of the planning. So they feel that future changes cannot be planned for. Yani it's unnecessary thing. Now the strategic planning. So we knew so far that what is a plan. Now what is a strategic planning? Strategic planning basically provides comprehensive long-term direction to help a business accomplish its mission. Okay. So basically, when we say a strategic planning, strategic planning basically provides a comprehensive long-term direction. It's basically a long-term direction. Planning is a planning. It could be a it could be a short term, it could be a long term. But when we use the word strategic planning, okay, mostly it's for the long term direction. Okay, yani for example, vision. Okay, so you have a vision. Okay, as a student you have a vision. As an employee I have a vision. Okay, so provides comprehensive long-term direction to help a business accomplish its mission. We are making strategies in our life. Basically, these strategies, yani the study, the strategy at this level could be that let me take admission in the university to get my certificate. Okay. Bachelor certificate. After my bachelor's, I am going to admit myself in another university for master's degree. After my master's degree, I will go for professional training. When you are planning these for a long-term direction, meaning that you are making a strategic planning. You are utilizing different strategies. If you are aware with the pros and cons, okay, the advantages and disadvantages. So strategic planning provides a comprehensive long-term direction to help a business accomplish its mission. What is mission? It's coming in the next slides. Okay. So far it's clear. Give me your opinion. Our homework we have to download as Word PDF. Asma al-Mujalli. This is not the time to ask these questions, okay? When there is a lecture, so mean there is a lecture, okay? So please Stick to the point. Okay, guys. Examples of strategic planning. So, of course, for your understandings, uh, uh, they mentioned some examples, okay, that relates to the strategic planning. For example, selecting the type of business to enter. Okay, yani you will make different strategies. For example, if this plan is failed, what, let's say for example you have planning, okay, different plannings. Plan A, if plan A fails, what is the plan B? If plan B fails, what is the plan D, and so on. Meaning that you prepared yourself. This basically, this preparation, okay, meaning that you have different, or you are utilizing different strategies. If this strategy failed, what is the next? If this strategy failed, what is the next? So basically it's a long term strategy. It's a long term preparation. Okay, it's a examples of strategic planning: selecting the type of business to enter, formulating the mission of the company, to formulate, okay, the mission of the company, uh, deciding whether to start a new business, buy an existing one, or buy a franchise. Okay, it's basically also tells us whether to start, buy an existing one, yani already available, and you just invest your money in it, or buy a franchise. Okay, what is franchise? I think in the last lecture we already discussed. Choosing the product or service to sell. Did we discuss franchising, right? I forgot. Can anyone confirm? Did we discuss? Franchise, franchisees, franchisers. Yes, okay, Fatma. Okay, okay, Khalid. Okay, choosing the product or service to sell. Okay, which product, whether product or services to sell. Decide on the market and an issue to exploit. Okay, focusing on something special. We call it niche. So deciding on the market niche of the type of going to choose. Okay, SWOT analysis: strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, SWOT. So study is made of the opportunities and threats in the external environment, and the strength and weaknesses in the internal environment. Basically, when we say SWOT analysis uh, is some basically it's an activity. Okay, so usually the researchers are advising, before conducting any activity, do always a SWOT analysis of it. For example, I want to get admission in a PhD. Okay. For example, I want to start a business, a new business. Okay, I want to buy a franchise. I want to do any activity. So before starting it, do your SWOT analysis. In SWOT analysis, basically, this procedure or this process is basically telling you what is your strength, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. So what is your strength? Your strength is that you have enough capital, meaning that you have sufficient funds for the business. This could be your strength. Okay, just consider this as a strength. Yani this is the only strength you have, that you have enough funds for the business or to invest. Number two, W, yani strength, okay, weaknesses. S, strength, W for weaknesses. Let's say weaknesses is that there are so many weaknesses, but I'm thinking for an easy one and for a very specific. Let's say the weakness is that you do not have a good employees, or let's say you do not have a good communication skills. Okay, yani you have enough funds to invest, but you do not have good communication skills. You don't know how to talk. You have funds, but you don't know how to talk. Now, the opportunities and threats, yani O and T. O, opportunity. What is the available opportunities in the market? Meaning that where is the place where you can invest? So, opportunity. Let's say market is divided in 4 different. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. First 3 areas they are covered. Yani someone already invested. Whereas the fourth one is empty. They are waiting for the investor, and you invest, meaning that there was an opportunity and you invest the money. Now the threats, T. Okay, threat is always negative. Okay, T and W always negative. Okay, strength, okay, and opportunities. These are positive, whereas weaknesses and threats are always negative. So by considering your uh, competitors, they are always a threat for you. They are a big challenge. So mostly for the businesses or for the businessmen, the main, but competition is good. Why? Because to maintain the quality. So SWOT, SWOT analysis in strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So this was the short brief of SWOT analysis. So before starting any business, always do a SWOT analysis. Mission and objectives. Vision, mission statement, objectives. Vision. Vision explains what the business is stressing to become in the future. Okay? Vision is basically a long picture. Okay? Vision is basically a long picture, long-term picture. For example, I can see myself in the next 20s, in the next 20 years of the CEO of that bank. Let's say this is a vision, or let's say in we have 2030 vision in this country. We have 2030 vision, meaning it's a long-term planning. Okay, we call it a vision. So vision basically explain what the business is stressing to become in the future. It's a future, okay, for the long term, and it's a big picture, not a small picture, of course. Mission statement. Mission statements basically defines the present business scope and broadly describe the organization's present capabilities, focus, and activities. Mission statement basically defines the present scope and broadly describes the organization's present capabilities, focus, and activities. Mission is basically daily activity. The daily activities, okay, we call them mission. For example, you are coming to the school every day. You are coming to the job every day. Coming to the job, delivering a lecture every day. Okay, taking a lecture. This is the examples of mission. For example, I give you something and you are working on it. For example, I'm your boss. So coming and working on a specific task on daily basis that you are on a mission. This is a mission. Okay. Now, what is the objective? The objective is the purpose, goals, and desired results for the business and its parts. Why you are on a mission? Because you have an objective. Okay. Yani, for example, you are my employees. Okay, I'm your boss. Imagine for a while. I'm your boss, you're my employees. I give you a task, you are performing that task. So basically, you have an objective. You are there for a mission. You're performing a mission. Conducting that mission, yani what you are doing that activity is basically you are working on your objectives. Based on that objective, you're on a mission. And whereas vision is a long picture, huge picture. Okay. Internal resources and competitive edge. Human resources, the business workforce. To keep these people creative, qualified, and dedicated. Human resources, basically the personnel that make up the business workforce. When you say human resources, it's basically the workforce of the organization. Okay, the business workforce to keep the company competitive. Okay, to keep the company competitive, very competitive. These people must be motivated, imaginative, qualified, and dedicated. Uh, financial resources, financial resources, and equity available to finance operations. It's basically relevant to the funding. Okay, finance to run your business, to maintain your business. To be competitive, finances must be educated to maintain current future opportunities. Yani always invest some money, okay, and keep some money for the future opportunities. So these are financial resources. Okay. The buildings, tools, and equipment, and services and distribution facilities that are needed to carry on the business. Be strategically located, be productive, be low in operating cost, be effective distributors, and make physical resources from the name is okay. Like for example, building, tools and equipment, services and distribution, that facilities from the business. We call it physical resources. Yani let's say sofa, AC, okay, table, computers. Competitive edge, a particular characteristics that make a firm more attractive to customers than others. Okay? As we discussed earlier, what is competition? A small business must align its mission, objectives, and resources with its environment. We call a competitive edge, yani a particular characteristics that makes a firm more attractive to customers than are its rivals. We call it competitive edge. This is basically competition. Okay, to maintain the quality. Okay, when you are alone, no competition. When there is no competition, what we call? Any idea, guys, girls, guys? Any idea? When there is no competition, what we call? Exactly, monopoly. Okay, when there is no competition, we call it monopoly. Great. Okay, so this is competition. Strategies. Okay, what are the strategies? Strategies, the means by which a business achieves its objectives and fulfills its mission. We already have been through, okay? That basically strategies are objectives and its missions, okay? They should combine the activities such as marketing, production or operation, research and development, finance and personnel in terms of resources most effectively. We call it, these are strategy. When you combine all these, okay, we call them strategies. Policies, method, procedures, and budget. Okay, operational planning and policies. Operational planning, operational. Okay, operation, operationalize daily activities, day-to-day activities within organization. How to operate this system, how to run this system, what is the operation hours, where is the operation manager. Okay, maybe these are the sentences that you heard somewhere. The operation manager, okay, like say sales manager. So operation manager, who is the operation manager? Any activity manager. What time you start your operations? Operation means basically the activity, yani job hours, business hours. Okay, so operational planning, any planning for the operation. Operational planning phase basically setting the policies. It could be procedure and different standards for achieving the objectives. What is the objective? As I told you earlier, daily tasks. I give you, for example, assignment on daily basis. So you have a task to do, you have something to do. So for these daily tasks, okay, you need to set the policies, procedure to achieve those tasks or to work on that objectives. So this operational planning. Policies, now policies, what is the policy? A general statement that serve as guides to managerial decision making and supervisory activities. We call it policies. So someone has a question? Oh my God. Okay. Policies are basically a general statements that serve as making and supervisory activity. Policy is basically a policy. Okay, and basically these are the general statements that serve managerial decisions to guide managerial decision. Manager, of course, he or she, if he or she is the manager, okay, so of course they have to decide, okay, what to do, what not to do, okay, and some other managerial decisions. So basically it's a guideline for them, okay, to decide what to do and what not to do. Methods and procedures, okay, provide standing instructions to employees on how to perform their jobs. Methods and procedure. Budget, in the total budgeting, detailed plans expressed in monetary terms, okay. of the results expected from officially recognized programs for a given future period. Every organization they have a system, okay, where to invest, how to invest, okay, what are our daily expenses, okay, all these comes under the budget. Planning to operate the business. Planning to operate the business. Planning to operate the business includes that how to plan to operate or work inside the business industry. Start a business. Okay. Choosing your location. Can start from here. Choosing your location. Locate location. Okay. Where exactly do you want to start your business? Planning operation and plan the operation and plus physical facilities. Developing supply for goods and materials, setting up the legal and organization structure, determining, establishing an efficient record system, setting up a time schedule. So these are some plannings to operate a business. It's for your reading. The role of financial involves determining what funds are needed relevant to the total budgeting system. What investment, how much do you have, where to invest, what to invest. So basically, this involves to determine what funds are and they can be obtained and how they can be controlled. The whole system is known as financial planning. This basically also estimating the initial investment required and locating the sources of funds. Estimating income and expenses, net profit and cash flow. Estimating, you are estimating as a businessman how to estimate income and expenses, net profit and cash flow. Net profit is the amount of revenue, yani sales, over and above the total amount of expenses of doing business. Okay, yani what is your profit? We call it net profit. Yani you deducted the expenses. What is left behind is basically called a net profit. Cash flow is the amount of cash, okay, the amount of cash available expenses. Then you have something, okay, for your expenses. And basically, cash flow is the amount of cash available at a given time to pay the expenses. Expenses could be anything, okay. Estimated income expenses, this has that are changed continuously. For example, in this month, let's say I spent 20,000. Okay, so next month for the same function, I may just like 40,000. This month 20,000 for the same thing. Next month I spent like 40,000. It's not the same. Whereas fixed expenses, like it's fixed. For example, rent of the business, rent of the building. Let's say 10,000. I will pay 10,000. Next month 10. Sorry, 10,000. Next month 10,000. Meaning it's fixed. Whereas variable expenses meaning which is not constant, continuously changing. Locating sources of funds. Locating sources of funds. Equity investors are those who actually become part owners of the business. Equity investors. One moment. Sorry guys. Okay, equity investors, locating sources of funds. Okay, anywhere to put your equity investors, lenders and micro loans. Equity investors, equity from equal, are those who actually become part owners of the business. Equity say four partners. Okay, so 25%, 25%, 25, 25 and 25. Yani each business partner, okay, have to invest. Equity investors are those who actually become part owners of the business, the same partner with the same amount of business. They are the same investor. 25%, 25, 25 and 25. It's a class. Okay, let outsiders who provide business owners money for a limited time at a fixed rate of interest. Lenders. When we say lenders, yani lend the money. Okay, but lenders are a part of that business. Equity investor meaning they are a part of business, but lenders are those outsiders who provide a cash or who provide a capital for a limited time. Let's say for 1 year, for 2 years. They have limitations, fixed rate of interest. For example, 1%, 2%, 3% will be the interest rate, but for a limited time. So those people are called lenders. Micro loans, short-term loan provided by the SBA. SBA means Small Business Administration, and who are administered. Okay, so micro loans are small short-term loan provided by the SBA through intermediaries. Intermediaries are mediate between one party and other party. For example, A, B, C. Party A, party B, party C. So organization A know that who is B. Okay, but organization A doesn't know who is C. So B is mediating between A and C. Okay, so that's why we call them B. B is basically mediating between A and C. Yani A know who is B, C, but C doesn't know who is A. A doesn't know who is C. B knows between. Okay, so that's why we call them intermediate manufacturing. Okay, they are utilizing channels in terms of intermediaries. Yani manufacturing companies directly to the customers. They are utilizing different channels and shape of retail stores. For example, Banda, Al4, okay, Jareer, Extra. Okay, these are the examples of intermediaries. Basically, they are intermediate with manufacturers. Clear, ya shabab? Girls and guys? Okay. I think the rest are sleeping because we have 64 students, mashallah, and only one answer. I need the feedback, for encouragement. I know, Fatima, you are not. I'm talking about the guys. Muhammad Al-Nimar, you need to buy a new computer because you're always having problems in your with your speakers. Foes, I know you are not. Muhammad, mine is the okay. Super clear. Fay Al Ghahtani. Okay, Amal Asmat. Ejma ila al-Hin. Maybe the network. Yeah, maybe the network problem. Because the feedback. Why I am asking you your feedback? Because the feedback gives me encouragement. Because talking with yourself, it's basically talking yourself. Humans interaction. I mean eye contact. Eye contact is very important. Body language, it's very important. I mean sitting on a chair or sofa and talking to yourself, it's okay. Okay, let's start. Locating source of funds in strategic and operational planning. Business plan. Okay, business plan. We know that what is a business, and we also know that what is a plan. So now combine business and plan. Business plan. What is a business plan? We are aware what is business, and we are aware that what is a plan. This is an activity. Okay, business is an activity. Okay, that are conducting in a market. Okay, the exchange process. Now you need to know what is exchange process. Exchange process, you give something and in return exchange process. So business plan. So basically business plan is a formal plan prepared to serve or attracting the other components of the business formation package, including people and money. This is basically a business plan. Now this plan includes what? Okay, this business plan include what? This plan should include the proposed product, and if you are proposing or suggesting something in your mind, okay, start. Let's say you decided what, so meaning that you propose something, the proposed product, the expected market for it, what is or where is its market or where you can market it, the strength and weaknesses of the industry. What are the strength and weaknesses of that industry where you are? Planned marketing policies, how to market yourself, planned marketing policy, what policies you are going to adopt, operations or productions methods and facilities, what methods and facilities you are going to utilize. Okay, what will be the operations and productions methods, how to operate, how to produce. Okay, financial aspects, income, expenses, investment need, any financial budgeting, what is the planning of your financial budget. So these are basically the plan that should be included for business plan. Okay, this is for your understanding. The survey consumer demands for your products and decide how to satisfy those demands and some other. So these are how to prepare a business plan. Writing the plan. Okay, writing the plan, yani every plan is basically in a written form. Okay, and it should be in a written form. Basically these are the steps that you have to follow when you start a business. So writing the plan is basically an executive summary. We call it an executive summary. Executive summary is basically a brief overview of the most important information in a business plan. And of course, yani fee in details. There is a book. Okay, there is a book. Okay, but before that, we call it executive summary. In executive summary, there is a brief overview of most important information in a business plan. This should be written after the plan itself is finished. Okay. This plan format. For example, cover sheet. Number 2, executive summary. Number 3, table of contents. Number 4, history, description of business, definition of the market, description of products or services, and etc. So this is the typical business plan format. So this was the end of 6. Now, chapter number 7, how to obtain the right financing for your business. Guys, so far clear? Yes. What is the area of business? I don't understand what's this question. Okay, can you confirm? Can anyone confirm? Because I'm recording this session. Can anyone confirm whether it's recording or not recording? Amal Asmat. Well, the voice is not clear. It is. How do we know? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay. Okay. So my question is, Sarah. My question is, be up when I stop it, any or after the lecture. Okay, Muhammad Al-Namar, I understand now. My question is that, is it going to upload it directly to the LMS? Well, is there any other procedure? Because I'm not aware. No, that's fine. But my question is that, is it going directly? And of course, when I press stop, let's say I press stop recording now, is it going to upload it directly, or do I have to do something? Okay, so anyhow, no problem. Okay, let's start other chapter, because we have 2 chapters left. We have 2 more chapters to finish. Okay, and we have the right financing for your business. Okay, very simple chapter. Let's finish this in a quick. Learning objectives for the present chapter includes explain the importance of proper finance, tell how to estimate financial needs, and explain some principles to follow in obtaining financing, explain why equity, and describe the role each plays in the capital structure of a small firm. Distinguish the types of equity, some sources of equity financing, describe some sources of debt financing, explain what a lender looks for in a borrower. So estimating financial needs. How to estimate the financial needs? Okay, becomes to financial. Determines seed money needed to start up. Okay, determines seed money. Of course, every business needs a money. Okay, to start a business. Every company or organization or a business to start any business. Okay, they need a seed money to start up. Determine which costs are one-time cost. And some costs are one-time cost. Okay, for example, furniture. It's a furniture. Okay, buying a building, let's say, it's one time. Okay, determine ongoing cost. In daily we call it ongoing cost or variable with sales. Okay, so you should know that what are my variable and what are my fixed cost. Okay, variable, that is changing. Okay, fixed means that fixed, not changing. Identify which costs are essential or optional. Okay, so you should know as a businessman that which costs are essential, yani lazim, and which are optional. And you have the opportunity, you have the choice. So there are some principles that should be followed. Fixed assets, working capitals. Fixed assets, those that are and are necessary for the functioning of the business. We call it fixed assets. Should be financed with equity funds or partially with debt funds. Fixed assets means any fixed gains. So those that are of relatively permanent nature and are necessary for the functioning of the business, meaning fixed assets, your property, those properties that are not changing. Working capital, current assets, less current liabilities that firm uses to produce goods and services and to finance the extension or credit to customers. These assets include cash, account receivables, and inventories. These are working capitals. Capitals is basically the money that is invested in the business. We call it capital. Cash budget. Cash budgets are project working capital needs by estimating what out of pocket expenses will be incurred and when revenues from these sales are to be collected. Okay. Basically, this is a project working capital needs by estimating what out of pocket expenses will be incurred and when revenues from these sales are to be collected. Yani, once you invested the money, okay, so when you are going to generate the revenue from the invested money, this is known as cash budget. Debt financing. Debt financing comes from lenders who will be repaid at a specified interest rate within a specified time span. Okay? Debit are legally enforceable claims against the business. Basically, debit financing comes from the lenders who gives money, okay, who gives a loan. So comes from lenders who will be repaid. Yani they will pay and you have to be repaid, okay, at the specified interest rate within a specific time of span. For example, they said 1%, let's say 1% interest for 1 year. So this debit financing comes from lenders who will be repaid at specified interest rate within a specified time span. Are legally enforceable claims against the business. Debit financing. Debit securities. What are the securities? Short-term securities, intermediate term securities, and long-term securities. Now the securities are for short-term, for example, mature in 1 year or less. It could be 1 or less year. Intermediate term securities mature in 1 to 5 years. Yani minimum 1 year and maximum 5 years. Whereas long-term securities could be mature after 5 years or longer. It could be minimum 5 years and onward. So 3 types of debit securities: short-term, intermediate, and long-term securities. Bonds. What are the bonds and what are the asset-based financing? Bonds are the form of debit securities with a standard denomination, method of interest payment, and method of principal repayment. Okay, basically bonds are the form of debit. Have a standard denomination. They have a method of interest. Okay, method of interest payment, how they are paying the interest. Okay, and method of principal repayment, payment again. Similarly, assets-based financing, asset-based accept as collateral the assets of a firm in exchange for the loan. Okay, yani you show them something as a bail that we have this property, we have this business. Based on this, we are asking or we are claiming for the loan. Yani let's say I have sofa. The sofa price is 1,000. So I will give you a surety. Okay, I have this sofa. Please give me 1,000 because this sofa has of 1,000 price. meaning that asset-based financing. So accept as collateral the assets of a firm in exchange for the loan. And if the sofa or the property or the assets I have has the equal price that I'm asking for. Mortgage loan and chattel mortgage loan. Mortgage loan, long-term debit that is secured by a real property. Mortgage is usually when we are buying a property. So when you take a loan for the property, we call them a mortgage loan. So it's for long term. It could be for 1 year. Sorry, it could be for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Okay, sometimes for the whole life means 40 years, 30 years. Okay, so long term debit that is secured by a real property, we call it mortgage loan. Chattel mortgage loan, debit led by some physical assets other than land, such as machinery, equipment, or inventory. When you buy a property, okay, and you need a loan, this type of loan we call it mortgage loan. But when you buy some equipments for the business, such as machinery, equipment, or inventory, so for these type for these things, when you buy, sorry, when you apply for the loan, we call it chattel mortgage loan. Small business investment companies, SBICs, small business investment companies, SBICs, private firms licensed and regulated by the SBA, the Small Business Administration, to make venture investment in small firms. Okay. So this is the small business investment companies. Venture capitalist, VC, okay, venture capital. VC firms means companies, organizations. VC or venture capitals make investment based on projected future income and generally require a substantial return as either equity or profit. Okay, we call this a venture capital. Okay, basically venture capital are making the investment. Okay, based on the projected future income. And they are the firms, they are investing the money. Okay, and they can predict, and they can project, and they can see a long picture. And once we invest the money, okay, once we invest the capital, so future income they can see, or they can project the future income, and generally require a substantial return. Okay, meaning that a big return they are expecting. Okay, as a we call it a revenue. So they are expecting a huge revenue in return. Okay, as either equity or a profit. Angel capitalists or business angels. Business angels, uh, wealthy local business people and other investors who may be external source of equity funding. Okay, wealthy, maybe who any rich people, let's say, wealthy local business people, wealthy local business people and other investors who may be funding, okay, or business angels, any wealthy people. Okay, basically they are a diverse group of high income individuals who will invest part of their assets in high risk, high return entrepreneur ventures. Not necessarily that they are a part of any business. Okay, we call it a diverse group of high income individuals. Basically, angel capitals or business angels, we call them, we call all of them who are a diverse group of high income individuals who will invest a part of their assets, meaning that they will invest some part of their wealth, okay, in a high risk, at a high risk. Okay, high risk, yani the more what we call, I forgot the quote. There is a quote relevant to business and risk. Okay, anyhow, so a diverse group of high income individuals who will invest part of their assets in high risk. Any wealthy people, a diverse group of high income, yani they are wealthy people, they are rich people, they are investing a money, okay, at a high risk, high return entrepreneurial in ventures. So they are expecting as increasing in a business. Increasing mean the return is increasing. What is the risk increasing, meaning the revenue is increasing. So okay, business incubators. Business incubators are managing in-house and revolving loan funds. We already been through that. What is incubators, business incubators, in the first chapter, I think. Business incubators are the place where all the businessmen are together. So managing in-house and revolving loan funds, networking it to locate and connect venture capitalists, connect with angel investors, assisting with loan applications. So these are business incubators where businessmen are together. Sources of debit financing. Sources of debit trade extended by vendors on purchases of inventory, equipment, and or supplies. Basically, trade credit. Trade credit, yani business on credit, extended by shopkeepers, okay, the supermarket owners, we can say, by vendors on purchases of inventory, equipment, and or supplies. We call it trade credit. Consignment selling sold rather than when they are received in stock. And sometimes the supplier or the distributor, they supply or they distribute their products to the different channels, to the retailers, but they say that upon selling we will pay you. Upon selling we will pay you, okay, because we are considering or we are buying your stuffs now, but this will keep in stock, not in the open market. Once it's sale out, we will repay, or sorry, we will pay you. So this is known as consignment selling, and we are not in a position to pay you unless we sell the product. Okay. Sources of debit financing, line of credit, credit cards. These are some sources of debit financing. For example, line of credit, extended by a bank permitting a business to borrow up to set amount with red tape. Okay. Extended by a bank, any line of credit. Okay. Extended by bank. Banks are responsible sometimes. Okay, they are providing a credit. So line of credit extended by a bank permitting a business. Okay, loan. Okay, to take a credit. Sometimes credit card, for example, individual, they have limitations. For a business, sometimes there are insurance companies, different insurance companies, they are giving the privilege. Okay, seller financing. Seller financing refers to the elimination of payment schedule and default consequences. Seller financing is a basically party, for example, ABC, any company direct contacts to the customers. Okay, so seller financing basically refers to they will contact directly to the customer. This includes a promissory note with interest rate. Basically, they are fighting for the, okay, repayment schedule and default consequences. So that is the finishing. That was now chapter number 8. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay, give me like two minutes. Okay, I'm taking some water and coming back. So don't go. Okay, I'm coming.